Yeah. Well, man, once again, there's no deliberate effort at focusing on the police, but it's that season. It definitely is that season. I mean, it's not like the police never gives us enough material to work with, but it's more so even necessary to discuss the police now because it's about a year since the hashtag #EndSARS protest of last year. As a matter of fact, the remembrance was commemorated a couple of days ago in Lagos and other parts of the country as well. Even here in Port Harcourt also, there was a series of events to mark the occasion, and for me for very good reason for that matter. So inevitably and understandably, we must discuss the police. However, a fallout of the event to commemorate the day in Lagos has a story called the Pulse NG. Lagos police boss Odumosu apologizes, frees arrested hashtag #EndSARS protesters journalists. Now here's the story. Lagos Commissioner of Police Kim Odumosu takes bricks at about 12 p.m. takes brisk steps toward one of the huge police vans Black Maria parked out at the Lekki toll gate after a brief meeting with some of his men. Inside this van are hashtag #EndSARS memorial protesters who had been picked and locked up on Wednesday, October 20, 2021. He asked them to identify themselves one after the other. And those who are able to identify themselves are let out, while those who aren't able to identify themselves remain locked up in this van under sweltering temperatures. Quote, "We will investigate those still locked up in the van. We are taking them to the police station. Once we ascertain that they are harmless, we let them go," Odumosu says, from behind a face shield as dozens of other police officers mill around him. Now, Odumosu has apologized to journalists and anyone who was brutalized, harassed, and wrongfully arrested during today's protest. By the way, this was published on that day, on the 20th. Quote again, "That was done by Judases among us, by ignorant officers. This uniform I'm wearing, you paid for it," and of course, the police boss lectures. The drive-through protest is now over, moments after police dispersed young protesters with tear gas canisters. Earlier, a man who claimed to be an Uber driver was bloodied, pepper sprayed, and dragged on the road as police made to forcibly throw him into the van. Today's convoy memorial marked the one-year anniversary of the viral police brutality protests of October 2020. On October 20, 2020, young Nigerians protesting decades of police brutality and extortion under the hashtag #EndSARS banner were shot at, reportedly, by soldiers who had been ordered to enforce a hurriedly declared curfew, allegedly, of course. But the striking part in this piece, as written by this Pulse reporter, I suppose, is a quote of the Lagos CP Odumosu, where responding to reports of high-handedness of some of his officers, arresting people indiscriminately, even journalists, harassing journalists, arresting persons who were protesting peacefully, or some of them who even had nothing to do with the protest. His response was this, quote, "That was done by Judases among us, by ignorant officers. This uniform I'm wearing, you paid for it," end of quote. So let's talk about that for a bit. It's kind of reminiscent of another very common expression, or excuse if you will, employed by the Nigeria police force. You know, the police is your friend. All those bad reports are simply the handwork of bad eggs, or as they sometimes say, a few bad eggs amongst us. The Lagos CP, if you will, has modified that statement to be done by Judases among us, ignorant officers, he calls them. You may have deciphered this by using the expression or the term Judases among us. Is referring to, he's taking that from the story of Jesus in the Bible. Jesus H. Christ. Remember, he had 12 disciples. One of them was called Judas, the one who betrayed him. So one out of 12, you can say is few and far between. It's occasional. It's not the norm. It's unusual. Gross minority. But is that really the case? Does the Nigeria police force have just one Judas out of 12? Just maybe some Judas is a handful. a few ignorant officers, some bad eggs. Is that the case? Or do they have more than one Judas amongst them? If the Nigeria police force were 12 in number, how many Judases would you say they have amongst them? Is it one? Or is it more than one? Let's talk about this for a bit. The numbers are the same line. We got 0817 93 0002, 0817 93 0003, and 0817 93 0007 are the numbers to call. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. WhatsApp is on 0809 0306416. By the way, we're also live on YouTube. Just for search for Nigeria Info PH on YouTube. Does the NPF have one Judas or many Judases? Is it just a handful, 1 out of 12? Or are they this Judases, or the Judas in the NPF, are they significantly more than 1 out of 12? That's what I'd like to hear. Let's go to the phone lines. I've got a Michael from Remigo. Hello, you're welcome. Go on.
Hello.
Michael,
Adedayo, good
Go
afternoon.
ahead.
On the scale of 12, I would rate them 8/12. We have more than one. We have
8.
so many Judases in the Nigerian police force.
Really?
Yes, I rate them 8/12.
8/12. 8/12 is a lot of Judases out of 12. Morris from GRE, you're welcome. Go on.
Yes. Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello, Morris.
Yes, so concerning your question, if you have 12 among the police, how many are Judas?
Yes.
So fair enough. You have 9 are Judas.
9.
I tell you.
That's a vast majority. Morris.
Because they seem to have been so corrupted that only a very few that they have conscience. It's so appalling.
But the police,
insist.
The police insist that it's just a handful, just a few bad eggs are amongst them.
That is what they will tell you, but you can see in the society what happens. Police that the masses are fighting for, everything the masses are fighting for concerns them, not because they are on the other divide. They have the arms and ammunition, then they choose to be killing their own people. It's very sad.
All right, Morris. Hello, 90.3.
Hello.
You're welcome. Go on.
Good day.
Hi, go ahead.
I'm Victor.
Go on, Victor.
Okay. So give the mark, Sha. I think we should have up to, because there are few good ones who have the conscience.
Okay.
The truth is that they don't have respect. There is no respect in police force. So we have those ones who are good, but
So assuming the Nigeria police force was 12 officers, how many Judas do they have amongst them?
if they are up to 12, I think they should be up. If you have Judas, it should be up to like 7, 8.
7.
Yes, yes, because most times you see those ones who are in high rank try to corrupt the young one who are trying to do the good thing. You understand? For instance, you go to road now.
Yes.
You know that inspector is the one that is in charge of the patrol.
Okay.
He will tell those young ones, he say, sometimes what is you with the young ones? And maybe you are looking at the inspector, if they want to settle the matter amicably. You just see him changing, misbehaving. Sometimes he will tell the young ones, he will say, don't you know what to do? You understand?
Yeah.
That is their logics language. Can't you understand, my friend? Go and settle with them. Go and settle with him and go your way. You understand?
So the GA officers don't know what they're doing.
They don't know. Some of it is only few that has a conscience.
Okay. So the inspectors are the ones responsible.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, how about the ones superior to the inspectors?
You know, those ones that they are in the office, they don't know what is it, because I want to say something as a truck driver, as a trailer driver.
Okay.
We meet with them every time. You notice that what they learn from inside is not what they experiment outside. You understand?
Yeah.
Once they just go to main road, they misbehave. Misbehave.
All right, so great to hear from you as well. Hello, Hard Facts 90.3.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, about the police, I think about three could be 3/12.
3 over
Over 12.
3 are Judases.
Yes. If not two, self. Because the problem starts from their training.
No, just a
Their
moment.
training,
Are you
where
are you
they
saying
in
are you saying that
police
only 2
training.
out of 12 are
Corruption starts
can you hear me?
there.
Are you
Yes, I
saying
remember
are you
somebody
saying
that a police officer that was in training.
hello, sir?
They were asked, hello. They were
Are you
asked,
saying
they said
once
they
again,
paid them
it's very
80,000
important
naira,
that you listen to me, sir.
and they were not
Very
paying them.
important that you listen to me.
Even most of the things they were denying. But
Once
the day
again.
they came for that,
All right, he's not listening to me. Let's see via WhatsApp. Okay, let's take a call first. BB from Vienna, go on. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Dio, I would say if they are 12, I think 10 of them are Judas.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yes, that's a lot. Because you look at the police system in Nigeria. When was the last time you heard that the police on its own decided to take a serious check on its officers and arrested some of them who are carrying out this corruption? Or who are carrying out this corruption?
Well, the police in River State have arrested the officers responsible for the deaths of Chima Ekunado and the other Ekoko 4.
And that's what we are saying now. Were they arrested on their own findings, or it was because of the shout, the cry of the public? Now we are talking about the other one that they collected 150. People did nothing has happened. When was the last time the police came out and said, no, they arrested without anybody saying anything? So we had a complaint concerning of our officers and we arrested them. If you are traveling from Port Harcourt to Bayelsa, after Choba Bridge down to Indiana, you see up to 15 checkpoints and they are collecting money there openly. When did you hear the police come out and say, no, we went here, we did undercover this and that, and we arrested some of our men? No, you won't hear it. A thing that cannot check itself, that means they all know what's happening. We have various cases in Port Harcourt there where people have been shouting concerning police officers. Has the commissioner come out to say anything? The one you were shouting about, the one that they collected about 150,000 from a student from the university, has anything been done?
Maybe they're
still waiting for bank statement.
Bank statement, yes, bank statement.
That's what I'm saying. That means everybody is involved. I'm just saying 10 over 12 because they can say no to just motive. So that's why I'm even saying 10 over 12 because almost everybody are involved in this thing. Because if you are not involved, if you are not covering those who are doing it, you call out on them when you get this kind of report. But no, they don't do that. Rather, they keep them, they cover them, give us one excuse after the other, then the thing will now die down, nobody will talk about it again, and that's the end. So to me, I think it's 10. I'm just even looking at it, and like that. Okay. Thank you.
All right, baby. Chris from Umagba, what's your number?
Good evening, Dayo.
Hi.
There are 11 Judases and maybe one apostle or disciple in the Nigerian police. If I have to go by the horrible experience I had with the police, just the one in front of my estate where I live. That is a long story, but to cut it short, I tried to pass through because the vehicle was opened their stuff, their tires, and I followed them because it just to cross into my estate. And not knowing that the other end, immediately after their post, was also closed. I got there, nobody was there, nobody was opening for me, so I decided to open it, and they got angry with me. And in the process of explaining to them that I'm just your neighbor here, I'm behind you, my estate is just behind you here. So, and I saw these people coming in, that's why I followed. They got angry that I should go back. After speaking with them, they refused me going back, and I had to tell them the truth. That was what angered them. I said to them, you have the uniform, you have the gun, which we are giving you, which we pay for. Just like the city is trying to say, you are the one who pays, we are the ones who pay for these things. And instead of you to protect the people with it, now you are protecting Anyway, you won't let me enter my estate. I will go back and drive back to the expressway and go around and see if I can get to my house. Dayo, to my greatest surprise, when I turned and tried to follow the other side to drive back to the expressway to go and try routing myself back to my estate,
Yeah.
these guys mobilized everybody from the police station, blocked me, put wood under my car. As I'm not moving, I started shooting in the air
Wow.
and using their phone to photograph me or to video me, that they are going to deal with me. For what? Dayo, I couldn't believe my eyes. Well, I'm a Christian. I sat down in the car there and I spoke in tongues for a while. And the Spirit told me what to do. I picked up my phone and gave a call to somebody who said, let me speak to who is in charge of them. I went and I said, somebody wants to speak to you. And then he picked up the phone. They were told to get out of that place and let go. Now, what could have happened to an ordinary citizen? I was well dressed. I don't go to work without my tire suit. So how did I become a criminal? For telling you the truth. And your neighbor just there. So if there are any Judases, there are 11 of them.
But
and there's
Chris,
only one apostle.
Chris, unfortunate experience he had, but that was just one police team, one police station, out of several,
Yes.
maybe even thousands across the country.
Yes.
No, that was one police station, one police checkpoint out of thousands across the country.
Yes.
So how can you, by that one experience, say we have 11 out of 12?
Oh, yes. Your callers are telling you from everywhere now. There's so many. The stories are everywhere. What they are doing to people everywhere. I see it on the road every day. So I'm just saying, narrating my own personal experience to the people I can call my neighbors who say they are police officers. It didn't make sense to me, Dayo. And you know that where they were heading to, if they were allowed to perpetrate what they wanted to do to me, they would say he's one criminal. They can label the person. I knocked myself inside the car, so they couldn't open the car. Otherwise, they will put something there and say, we caught a criminal. He was carrying arms. He was doing this. He tried to penetrate our stuff. The people are evil. They're evil. If there are any Judas, there are 11 of them, and there's only one apostle maybe among them.
All right, Chris, good to hear from you.
Thanks.
I have to go for a commercial break shortly. We'd like to let's take a few messages before then, though. And say wow, that's quite scary, really. Chris's narrative. Via WhatsApp, 11.9 Judases out of 12. Also via WhatsApp. Dial, if 13 are Judases, that's in Charles. Hello, Dial. The police forged the collection of the finest Judas. I find it hard to believe the excuse given by the Lagos State's police commissioner. I doubt if he himself is not a Judas. I think it's a poor attempt at image laundering on their part of their so much bastardized image, especially since the media was awash with statements that the police had learned nothing from the 2020 EndSARS protest. That's an email. Good evening, Dial. All of them are Judases among Nigerians, including the one who has said this. That's from Melford. I would say 10.5 out of 12 are Judas. The 1.5 are those who don't do wrong but see wrong being done and turn the other way. Isabella from Maryland said that. I thought you would have said something about the lady who alleged that a foot glass showcase was destroyed by the task force of Motor Park and illegal street trading at the Cuckoo Flyover in your side talk this evening. This was in your CP. I did actually. I did talk about that. There was something about that lady actually. I do confess. Maybe later on, after the meetings at 6 p.m., I'll go back to that story, and we'll look at it again. There was something about the woman, really. Something about her. Good evening, Dar. If Judas is more than one, then it's no longer Judas, rather bad eggs. That's a bomb from Virgie. We have 10 out of 12 for the Judases. That's from Mike. Hello, Dar. For me, the police you get on any day or administration is what the leaders want, the executives. For me, it's an 8 over 12. By the way, the task force issue is so pathetic, to say the very least. That's West from Port Harcourt. Hello, Di. I don't blame you and your so-called I don't blame you and your co-callers, since you have assumed the position of Jesus Christ to pass judgment on noble uniformed men who have laid their precious lives always. You will be judged one day. That's Monday Bang from GRA. Well, Monday, I don't mind if, people pass judgment on me as well. Judgment is inevitable, actually, whether now when you're alive or inevitably when you do die. One way or another, judgment is inevitable. Either judgment passed by people who know you or those who have heard of you, or as religious folks believe, judgment passed by a spiritual almighty being at death. So one way or another, Monday Umbang from GRA, we all are judged one way or another, inevitably. That to be fair enough, owing to the activities of these gallant men, I give them 11 and a half over 12. Okay, all right. Via Facebook, however, let's see. Victoria goes, a policeman slapped me because he asked me to open my phone and I refused. Can I ask a policeman to open his phone and he opens it? Victory, please don't try that at home. All right, I go for the break right now. Discussions continue afterwards. Please stay with us. Our freedom depends on our proactive responsibilities.
Let's talk, act, and be about development.
With one voice, our potential is realized. This is your number one news, talk, and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am listening.
And now, Hard Facts.
Hard Facts with Dion.
Welcome back. Still Hard Facts at 92.3 Nigeria Info and here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dion. 11 minutes to go before 5 o'clock. We've got the news update top of the hour at 5. And discussions continue right after that. Before the moment, here's what the matter of discourse at the moment. It's Pulse that's responsible for the story. Lagos police boss Odumosu apologizes, frees arrested hashtag NSAS protesters journalists. Of course, this was the aftermath of the memorial protest in Lagos that happened on the 20th. Reports have it journalists were harassed, manhandled. Peaceful protesters and other persons not even a part of the protest were arrested, harassed by the police in Lagos, unsurprisingly by the way. And as this happened, the CP showed up in Lagos and he went to a van where some of the persons had been arrested, let out some, did not let out some until they identified themselves, and he said, quote, "We will investigate those two locked up in the van. We're taking them to the police station. Once we ascertain that they are harmless, we let them go." Now, he apologized to journalists and anyone who was brutalized, harassed, and wrongfully arrested during the protest. And he also said, quote, "That was done by Judases among us, by ignorant officers. This uniform I'm wearing, you paid for it," end of quote. So, the term Judases refers to, of course, Jesus Christ or Jesus H. Christ's disciples. Reportedly, according to biblical accounts, he had 12 of them. Amongst the 12, one betrayed him. His name was Judas. So I'm asking, if the 12 disciples is representative of the Nigeria police force, how many of them are Judases? Ever so often you hear the police refer to those unscrupulous criminal minded ones amongst them as being just a handful, a few bad eggs even. Or is that all they are? Just a few bad eggs, few and far between, not representative of the Nigeria police force. So I'm asking right now, if the 12 disciples are representative of the Nigeria police force, how many of them are Judases? In Jesus' time, there was only one. Is it the same now, or are there more than one? The line to open, call 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or 0007. And I hope that the Nigeria police force is noting this. I hope our gallant officers are listening right now and noting what Nigerians think of you. I hope you're listening. WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416. Facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH also for your comments. And via Facebook, Kennedy Sogibe goes, "That to me, they have 12 Judases. Trust me, my friend was extorted a sum of 120,000 for parking in an open space to have lunch. They took him to ATM to withdraw the money, accused him of being a cultist and a ritualist just for parking in an open space to have lunch in Asaba." Francis Lemmy goes, "Most policemen are not into police force to serve Nigeria, but for their stomach infrastructure." Okay, back to what's up now. Now the police take orders from the superiors, 11 out of 12 for me. They are Satan worshippers, it's a very strong term to use. Alright. They're destroying the poor and the helpless. If they are 12, 10 are Judases. For the first time in my life, I encountered a good policeman at the Puff Ada unit on Airport Road, Obirikwere. Okay, alright, that's good. It's good to know that there are some good ones amongst them. But still, this person says 12 or 10 out of 12 are Judases. More from Lelewa, you're welcome. Please go on.
Hello, good evening, Dayo.
Go ahead.
If I should contribute for what they are saying there in the police force, I would say, if I should categorize it,
yes,
that the whole of the police, they are all Judases.
Really?
Because come to think of it, the whole of Nigeria, is there any police station you go and then bail is free?
But that's what they say. They say bail is free.
On that note, I put it to them that all police force, Nigerian police, as far as I'm concerned, they are all Judases. Thank you.
Audible. Israel from Ishapo, I think. Israel, you're welcome. Go on.
Yeah, Dayo, this issue of our policemen.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, if I may say it, out of the 12, Jesus Christ has only one. But I think in our own time, Nigerian police, we have at least, let me say 9.
9.
Are Judas. Because if you walk it, though there are some good one among them,
okay,
let's not forget that there are some good one among them, but it seems to be as if out of 100%, we have 90% that are not really doing well. So we need to, at least our government needs to do something about it.
But you haven't, Israel,
for a long time,
Israel,
I don't know.
Israel.
Okay,
you haven't met 90% of them, have you?
Huh?
You have not met 90% of the Nigeria police force, have you?
No, I met before.
No, you've met 90% of the Nigeria police force.
No, yes, of course.
How is that even possible? I'm not sure even the IG of police can meet 90% of the Nigeria police force.
No. What am I saying is this, that out of them, so I didn't mention IG of police, but those
you're missing my point, Israel, but great to have for me. Thanks for calling in. Madu from Rumola, hi, go on.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dayo.
Hello, Madu.
Yeah, the Nigerian police, as you people, as their tactics, I see it that all of them are Judas.
Really?
Because if the people at the top are not part of the Judas, they don't have that character, they should be able to caution the ones that are doing this. I was coming back from Aba. Some police people stopped me, not on uniform, they're wearing jeans. You know, the fast people used to wear. Yeah. They have changed them to SWAT.
Yeah.
The same set of people, they stopped me. I gave them my paper. It was okay. The guy looked into my car and see this siren radio that is not working. It was disconnected.
Okay.
He started on it by himself. It wasn't on. He asked me, did I disconnect it? I said, yeah, it's not working. Do you know he removed my foot mat and became an electrician in my own car to connect the siren? Assuming the thing worked, he will not tell people that I was using siren. You see how the extent they can go?
Wow.
They caught another woman, the same place, the same spot. The woman was carrying a Zitan. The policeman was telling him that what he is carrying is hard drug. I said, no. Zitan is for calming the nerves. It's not tramadol. It's not a hard drug. They are pharmacists, they are doctors, they are electricians, they are mechanics on Nigeria road because they have guns. Their organs don't talk to them. That is what I observe. That means they are benefiting from the money they are collecting on Jews.
So, Madu, if there are 12, how many are Judases?
Is it?
If there are 12, how many are Judases?
12 of them are Judas.
12 of them?
Yes, because if there is only one that is not Judas, that one should speak.
But Madu, you had one experience with them on the road. Doesn't mean all of them are the same.
No, what I'm saying, Dayo, this complaint has been on the radio, even during the SARS and after the SARS protest. They are still doing the same thing. The IG will not talk. The commissioners will not talk. And they're telling me that they don't pass on the road, Dayo. Are they not seeing these people? Are they not hearing the complaints?
Yeah, but the IG and the CP, they are giving them matching orders. They always give matching orders.
That made them part of the Judas.
Oh, really? Okay, Madu.
Thank you, Daya.
You're very welcome. That's it. Let's go back to WhatsApp. Good evening, Daya. If I have to be honest, we have 11 out of 12 as Judas. The reason it's not 12 is because I have seen one nice DPO Okay, and to Facebook, Oriwa Zubi goes, I've given up on the Nigeria police. Okay, Victoria goes, all fake, all of them, all of them are Judas. All right. Long life Yogbara goes, how do you expect an organization of more than 250,000 people to have just one Judas, even though they were to come from one womb? Same thing to other security agencies. Okay, this is called representation. The figure 12 is representative of the entire lot. It's like saying, like a math sum. If you say 250,000 is to 10, then 12 is to what? You can actually solve that. You can solve for x. If 250,000 is to 1,000, that's if you have 1,000 out of 250,000, then 12 is equals x. You can solve for x actually. So 12 is representative of what you have termed 250,000 here. So we're solving for x now, if you will, long life. We're solving for x. I've got Frank from Lagos Bus Stop. Hi, Frank. Go on.
Yeah, good evening, Dayo.
Hello, go ahead.
Good evening.
Hello, Frank. Go on.
Yes, Dayo, please, I want to ask, is it the 12th tribe of police? Because we have the SAS, we have the anti-robbery squad, we have the anti-courtism and all that.
Let's look at it from your perspective.
All of them are Judases. Dayo, these guys are very terrible. You know, I had an encounter with them once like that. We were discussing football. They came down, they came close to me, said I should stand up. I stood up, the guy was searching me. He searched from up, going down, went down to my boss, and was squeezing passionately.
Wow.
He was squeezing that he forgot himself. I had to remove his hand. And look he gave me immediately, I noticed that the look was like, if you remove my hand again, what I'll do to you. And he came again. I removed his hand. This guy slapped me. In 20 seconds, I remember the whole thing I've forgotten in 17 years.
Wow.
That is the Nigerian police for you. The only Jesus inside them, they don't allow that one to come out from the office. That one will come out, spoil their work. And the man that said we paid for the uniform, we sew the uniform and brought to his office. Is it not 100 naira they used to sew the uniform? Him himself is the Judas, number one. So they are all Judas from A to Z. Thank you, Dayo.
You're welcome, Frank. You're welcome. I have to wrap up the conversation shortly. Emmanuel, sorry, I can't take your call for now. Via WhatsApp, 11.999. Our Judas is out of 12. Good evening, Dad. That's from Kinsley. Good evening, Dad. I'm sorry, but the truth is that our police officers are so unfriendly with the citizens, and I can tell you that we have 11 out of 12 that are Judas. That's from Victor. Good evening, Dad. The armed robbery going on in the NPF is a shame. Just drive as if you're heading to Oyigbo after a bus car. You start counting, it's a shame. Alright? Now, that man must be one of the bad eggs in the Nigeria police force. Okay, alright. The percentage that is good is negligible. They are not our friends. That's Mike from Port Harcourt. Okay. There are 11.5 Judases out of every 12 policemen. There are not a few bad eggs. The entire crate is rotten. They're the ones the Bible describes as wicked and unreasonable men. Iwa Maka from Rupoku sent that in. Alright, so you might consider this some kind of a random sampling. I hope the police have heard this, and I hope the CP has heard, and I hope those even superior to the CP have noted the perspective of Nigerians as well. It's important we have this conversation. It's very important. Anyways, we got a break right now coming up. Commercial breaks up of the hour. We got business news at Parliament News up to the 5, and afterwards, Professor Wole Soyinka said something quite profound. It says Nigeria not a complete disaster. Your thoughts on that when I return? Please stay with us.